Welcome to Self-Care Talk with Sharoslyn. It's time to rise in self-care, walk with confidence, and live out loud. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Self-Care by Sharoslyn.
Welcome to Self-Care Talk with Sharoslyn. Today I have my lovely friend April Marks. How you doing today,
I'm
April?
well. Hey, how are you today?
I am good. Great weather out there today, so I won't complain. So, April, tell the viewers just a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am April. I am a small town girl, country girl from Mississippi. Live here in Georgia for quite some time. Married, 2 children.
Yeah. Enjoying the
Enjoy
life. Look, I actually met April when we used to work. And one of the guys was like, "Oh, it's a girl that work here. She's from Mississippi." So I was like, "Where she's at?" So we ended up introducing each other. Well, getting to know each other. She's from a small town, Rubeville, not too far from where I'm from, which is Shaw, Mississippi. So we became friends ever since. So April, how was it growing up in Mississippi versus like just being in Georgia for right now?
For me, it was. I had a good childhood. We didn't have the most money. My mom was a single mom of 3 girls. Lived with our grandfather most of the time, and but I had a good childhood. It was built on family, love. It was a good childhood for me. I remember just good times. Even though we didn't have a lot, we didn't come from a lot. Like I said, my mom was a single mother of 3 girls, doing it all by herself the best she could.
Yeah,
and
good
but
job.
I still had fun summers, had fun, just fun and a humble beginning, if I can explain it like that.
That's good, because I definitely grew up, my mom was a single parent as well. Your mom had 3, my mom had 5, so there's 2 more to feed and do everything else, so that's good. I'm just so proud of April. She had came such a mighty long way, and like if you see her on the outside, you would never would think, where she came from, like just made her become this amazing person.
Thank you.
So April, what did you learn? How did you become the woman that you are today? From Mississippi, like just coming from Mississippi, then a small town girl. Like, how was you able to adapt?
First, it was by faith in God. I never lost my faith in God. I always took my direction from God. Like I always, even though I didn't go to church every Sunday, I wasn't in Bible study every Wednesday, I still had my own relationship with God. So that took me places that I could have never made it on my own. And that was just the biggest, if I could say one thing that helped me to get to where I am. I just have to say my faith in God, just period. Just keeping Him first, period.
Ooh, without God, I honestly don't know where I'd be at today.
Yeah.
So when you was actually living in Mississippi, was there a specific moment you realized I want better for myself while living in Mississippi?
I think just growing up in a small town like that, just a little girl, that my dream was to always be a nurse. So that was my push, that was my motivation, and it was just seeing my mother struggle. If I could be transparent, if I could be honest. Like I said, my mother, single mother, worked at the factory. It didn't pay a whole lot there, but it was, I guess, based on the cost of living, but with 3 girls, that was a struggle for her. And I just always wanted to help my mother. So that was the biggest thing, is I got tired of seeing my mother struggle. So I ended up just leaving when I was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
I was in the 11th grade when I left Rubeville. I had a cousin that allowed me to come and stay with her in Jackson, Mississippi. And I worked 2 jobs.
Wow.
Went to high
at
school,
16?
all at 11th grade.
Wow.
Ended up going, graduating high school, everything, and always giving back to my mom, just always sending, helping with my little sisters, and that's always been my motivation, is to help my mom.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
you did, and then just having that mindset as such young, like teenager, that's a lot. That's something that like a grown person would think of, but you was already mature. Like, hey, this is what I want to do, and that's the same thing for me. When I was growing up, April, I always wanted to be like, I see my mom, I want to always give back to her. She did such an amazing job, so I do want to give back to her. Yes. I think for me, just coming out of Mississippi, I think I just wish that I was taught more things back then versus now. Like, I had to learn the hard way. Like, for example, credit. That was something that, they really didn't emphasize with us. Because I think if I would have known that prior, I would have never got myself into such huge debt. Like when I first moved here.
Honey.
I remember when I was in college, April, the lady was like, called me one day. It was about a cell phone. She was like, it's going to go on your credit. In my head, I'm like, okay. Didn't think nothing of it. Like, okay. But I think if I would have been taught that, more in school or whatever, it would have been a better understanding for me. Even with just going to college. Taking out student loans. That linger still linger for me. So do you think that you wish that you was taught more, things back then versus like now, or do you think you just rather it was better for you to learn the hard way?
That's a two-sided question, like a two with two swords, because you learn better when you have to actually go through it.
Yeah.
But I wish we would have, like you said, had the tools, the resources, financial literacy classes that they probably just didn't know to offer or had the funding to offer. And with our parents, they weren't taught it, so they couldn't teach us. So absolutely, I wish that I would have knew about credit and financial literacy and debt and all of those things. Growing up, I wish I would have known that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. How has living in Georgia helped you?
Woo.
Especially with knowledge.
Oh, girl, it was a culture shock for real. Like, it was motivating, to say the least, because I seen so many people like us that looked like us that were like millionaires. They had made it. They were successful. I was like, okay, I'm in the right place. So let me network. Let me get with the right people and see what I could do to get to where they are. Like, it was because they called it, I remember coming here and they was like, well, you in the Black Mecca now. Okay. So I was like, okay. So just learning to everything it was on a larger scale. Okay. I think, and I had to adjust to, okay, well, this job, girl, you ain't finna make no $5. Yes. You probably finna make about 15. Yes. So I'm like, okay, and that's when I wish I knew financial literacy, because I would have known to save or invest or, not just go splurging in this city, because you can easily get lost in this city. Because there's so much and there's so many different things that you get involved in. Compared to where we come from, we may have had like the skating ring, the movies, a little bit, stuff like that. So, which was good for us growing up as kids. But when you come here, it's like that's on steroids.
They have multiple options.
Oh yeah.
To piggyback back on the credit, it just came to me. I never forget what made me like enhance my ability to learn more about credit. I needed a vehicle back at one time. And the vehicle that we had, I had got a Tahoe. It was a black Tahoe. My dad had helped co-sign for it. He had no problem. But the fuel pump had went out or something. I can't remember. And I needed a car because I just had Dabbling. That was back in 2007. And I think she was about 6 months or something like that. Me and Duke, we both young. Our credit went up to par and stuff. So when it was time to go get a vehicle, I called everybody in the world that I knew, and just nobody would just be like, oh no, sign it for credit. That's not like just sign it. So the only person that helped me as far as in my credit was my granddaddy.
Wow.
Rest in peace to my granddad. I love him to death.
Yes.
He was the only one. His exact words to me, April, was, "I wouldn't do this for nobody else, but I do it for you." And that's what made me keep the car that I have now.
Okay.
I had it ever since 2007. I passed it down to Dabbling.
Okay.
So that kind of like motivated me, like, okay, I never want to be in a position where I have to ask somebody to co-sign or I'm on their time. Like, no, I don't want that. So that kind of like motivated me. So hopefully everybody that's out there that don't have your credit together, please get your credit together.
Yes. It's so important.
It's
so important.
Very important. You know, somebody told me a long time ago, April, if you broke, you still rich with good credit. Like you go get anything you want
with that credit.
With that credit. So yeah, that been my motivation ever since. So ever since then, I think 2010, I haven't slacked since. Okay. Because I go get whatever I want. You're not about to tell me that I'm on your time, like when I'm in need of something. No. But so I try to educate Dabbling them too. So I'm like, get your credit together. I don't want you to learn from. I want you to learn from the mistake that I did. I don't want you to go through it. You know.
That. Exactly. Same.
Yeah. So April, what did becoming better actually look like for you behind the scenes?
A bunch of healing. Yeah, a whole lot of healing.
Yeah.
Discipline. Knowing my purpose.
Yes.
Again, that man
up above.
Behind closed doors, that self-awareness. Not like putting myself like I'm his. I'm a child of his. So I deserve.
Yes.
You know, I deserve better. Yes. So when I learned that and I walk in that, and that is what I walk in. That's it. That's me behind everything. It's still healing. It's still learning. It's still growing. It's still just remaining. Whatever I do, I still try to remain humble. And my golden rule is to treat others how I want to be treated. That's what I take in life, and that's how I go.
That's how you go. Wow, that's powerful. And you definitely have to treat people how you want to be treated. You have to put yourself in those people's shoes.
Absolutely.
And then just not even that, April. It's like you don't know what a person is going through
behind the scenes. All the time. You never know.
How you treat them just might set them the edge.
Set them off. And
like,
that I think we see that a lot, but we don't recognize it because we don't know what it is. But even if you look at you and I, or if we sat down and really talked about the things that we've been through, like you don't want to walk up on nobody that's been through some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know it. So that's why I always say lead with kindness, lead with love, because either you're gonna get somebody that just out of it and don't even care about that, and just you don't need to deal with them anyway, or they're gonna reciprocate that, and that's gonna come back to you. So that's my biggest thing, is treat others how you would want to be treated.
Oh wow. So that is so powerful, and I love it. You know, I know you have a lot going on. Your mother, your wife, your co-worker, friend. You even got your side hustle on the side. How do you balance all of that and pouring into yourself without losing yourself? That's a lot. Stop.
S-T-O-P.
Stop. Wow. Y'all heard that? Stop.
Stop.
Wow.
You have to give yourself a stopping point. You have to set boundaries. You have to, for me, it's like, okay, I did this for a couple of hours. I'm stopping. I don't care where I'm at. I don't care where, because the thing is, I used to be, I want to get finished. I want to finish it. I want to finish it. But if it doesn't get done or it's not completed, that it's not meant to be. That's where I take. That's where I have my faith in God. That's where that comes from. It's like faith it till you make it. I have that, and you have to stop, and you have to set those boundaries so that you won't overwork yourself or be overwhelmed. Me and my daughter talk about all the time, woo, we overstimulated. We don't want to you don't want to overstimulate yourself, because then you don't think clearly, you're off focus. So it's stopping. Just stop it in that moment. If you feel yourself getting to a point, is learn how to stop.
Learn how to stop.
Just learn how to stop.
Stop. More louder. Stop.
Stop.
How do you keep going, April, on those days when you just feel like giving up, but you know you gotta show up?
So it always come back to the point of who is watching, or who is looking at you to show them the way, who is, and you see it but you don't see it, because you'll see some people that, you know what, hey girl, I saw this, right? I'm like, where do you see that? What, you know what I'm saying? So it's always showing up for, it's always someone watching. And for us, we have young women that are becoming, young girls that are becoming young ladies that we have watching. So if I do anything, I think of her in mind, because when I think of her, she's watching my every move. She's watching how I talk. She's watching how I eat. She's watching how I take care of myself. She's watching how I treat other people. She's watching what I do. She's watching how I go to school. She's just watching everything. So I always try to put myself in a position of, if my daughter is standing behind me watching me, what am I gonna do? And that's another thing of like integrity. It is doing something that, in so many words, is if someone was watching you, it's just have that integrity. And it's always, the keep going is, I can't quit because I don't want to raise quitters. My son, I don't want him to quit. The people around me, my loved ones, I got nieces, I got nephews, cousins. I have people that are watching. They probably won't say it, or they probably won't admit it, but they're watching. Yep, they're watching.
They're watching. Wow.
So that's my motivation to keep going, because I feel like us being young ladies from a small town that, you know, it's building now, but when we were growing up, and it was good for us, but it's motivation for that young black girl that, or that young girl that's in the same boat that we was, single mother, barely knowing what we gonna do, how we gonna make it. Somebody that person is watching us saying, you know what, look at April. Man, what did they do? Let's get on the path that they got on. So that's my motivation.
I love it. And you spoke on that to the T, because growing up, I watched my mom. I watched her even when she didn't realize it. I watched her. And I think she was so strong to the point I was too strong. And it was like, it was doing more bad than good, because it's like I was too strong to the point, like I felt like I didn't want to let people know when I was hurting, when it's like, that's not good.
Which is unhealthy.
That's very unhealthy. And I think when I started going to therapy and all of that, I learned a lot of that. It's okay, you know, not to be strong some days. You know, it's okay to, like you said, stop, rest, you know, unwind, get yourself together. We are all human. We all gonna go through things in life. So don't ever feel like, you know, that you're perfect, you know, walking this God green earth, because you're not. You're gonna go through it.
Absolutely.
And I know, April, you, out of all the things, you know, that you've been doing, working extremely hard, graduating, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And just doing so much for yourself. Here come the healing part of it. And, you know, like you said, life is it never stops. It never stops. And I know April, she lost her mom a while back, and then recently she lost her father. How has the healing process been for you?
Ooh, these tears in my eyes. Grief is so unpredictable. It can overtake everything. For me, and we don't see enough of it in our community, but mental health, counseling, therapy, all those things, it helped me. When you talk about healing, it's something you have to put a lot of effort in. You have to be disciplined. You have to be accountable. You have to set yourself for that. But you need some help. A lot of times we don't want the help because, like you said, we're so strong. We don't want people to feel like we're vulnerable or that we're soft or that we. But I've learned in my therapy and in my counseling that when I cry, it rids me of that pain. It rids me of the grief. It rids me of, and sometimes it's happy crying. Sometimes it's happy. So it's relief. It's cleansing to your body, to your soul, that you should be able to cry. You should be able to grieve. I heard someone say, it was a minister, and they were like, we shouldn't cry. We're not supposed to cry when we lose someone. And Bible says we're not supposed to cry when someone passes. We're supposed to cry when someone comes into the world. And I've heard that a lot of times, so I had to go back because I was like, I'm crying over my mom, I'm crying over my dad. Am I not supposed to cry?
No, you.
So I went into the Bible, and the Bible does speak of crying, and it does speak of not crying and not grieving, but those were in certain situations. Those were in specific times in the Bible where it says that. But the first thing that I saw is that Jesus wept.
Yeah.
He wept over his friend Lazarus.
Exactly.
And I'm like, well, if Jesus could cry, surely I could shed a few tears.
You sure know what to say.
And he cried for his friend.
Right.
Surely I could cry a little for my mom or my dad, the people that, with God's help and grace, brought me in this world. So for me, it was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. And I always tell my son, I tell my husband, I tell the men, my nephews, if you feeling that you need to cry, cry.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I've seen that in the field that I'm in, I've seen where all that man needed to do was cry. All he needed to do was just let it out and not be judged. Not be saying, oh, you soft because you soft. You big old guy. You crying, you soft, you sad. No, that's a misconception that we have in our communities, is that men are supposed to always be strong, but that leads to corruption. It leads to them being so mad, so tense that they can't cry. So what's the next emotion?
Exactly.
So the healing, it's an overall thing from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet.
Yes.
Healing comes all over, and you do need help. My point is, therapy, counseling, I recommend it to the T because it helped
Therapy helped me so much.
Man, when I say it helped me, because losing my mom, that was one of the worst things that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
And I was just a quick story. I know we gotta go, but
no, you're fine.
I was working at Geico and I was coming down the highway. Well, I was at work. What happened is I ended up leaving work early because I was answering a call. And I was like, hey, this is, my name, and, who am I speaking with? The lady said, my name is Mary Jones.
Oh.
That's my mother's name.
Oh, yeah.
Girl, I freaked out on the phone. My face went to a different place. My supervisor said at the end of the cubicle. So my eyes met his eyes, and he was like, get off he was like, take it off. That's what he was telling me. Take it off my headset. And he was picking up the call. He was he took the call from me. And he ended up, after that, I was just over crying in my cubicle, just boo-hooing, just didn't know what was happening. It was a breakdown. Wow. I had a breakdown in the middle of it was just my mama name. Just hearing her name, somebody say that was her name. And it was shortly after she passed too, because this was the job I had at the time. But he told me about the resource program for the counseling and Greek therapy and things like that, because most jobs have that. So when he told me about that, I tapped in because we didn't grow up knowing to go to a counselor, sit on somebody's couch. We didn't know all of that. And I was skeptical about it at first, but I was like, I gotta get this out. So it saved my life. I'm driving down the highway, can't hardly see, almost running and thank God I called. I had my sister-in-law, her husband had lost his mom too. I didn't know who else to call. I'm like, I'm calling my sister-in-law husband. It wasn't. I was just freaking out. Didn't know what to do.
Exactly.
And he talked me off the ledge, like, hey, prayed and all that. So I thank him every day for that. But it's just one of those things. I feel like the healing process,
Yeah.
you need that help. You need that help.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I do hear people all the time say time heals all. But, you know, it's like it'll always be there.
Yeah.
You know, because I talked to someone else. She lost her father. And she was just saying, like, you know, people always say time heals all, but, you know, healing is forever.
Exactly.
Healing is forever. There's no time on healing.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
so
not.
like April says, always, you know, try to use the resources that you can, especially if you feeling like you just not that person that you used to be, or you know, you just need those resources to get yourself together. Just please use them, because you know it's a lot of people. I know my friend, one of my closest friends that I actually used to work with, you know, committed suicide. Like, we actually talked the day before. Never thought in a million years that it would happen. But it just all goes back to show, like, you smiling on the outside, but you hurting in the inside. And you, like I told you earlier in the conversation, you never know what a person is going through. And like April said, being kind can do some wonders.
Oh my God.
It can do some wonders.
It does.
Well, April, like, I really love this discussion. Ooh, we
I
could
know,
get
right?
much deeper, but we gotta have a fun part of it. So
know.
now let's go ahead and jump into Would You Rather game with April.
Woo!
The Mississippi edition.
From the field.
Okay. Welcome back to Self Care Talk with Sharoslyn. I have April. Like I said, we will be playing a game, Would You Rather Mississippi edition. So let's see what April says. So April, I'm gonna give you some Would You Rather questions. You're gonna write either A or B.
Okay.
So the first one is, would you rather A, have a date night every week, or B, solo self-care day every week?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
That's a tough one.
Okay.
Okay. Show the spirit what you say. A, oh, okay, so she rather have a date night every week. Oh,
Yeah.
that is so sweet, Malcolm.
Because I like to eat.
Yeah. She love you. And then number 2,
Okay.
would you rather A, be a strict parent, or B, a cool parent? Okay, show the viewers. A, okay. So why would you say strict versus cool?
The reason I say strict versus cool is, first of all, because we could do both.
Yeah.
But I feel like I wanted to do the strict because, like we say, set those boundaries, give the information, give the resources for our kids. Because a cool parent, I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
I
my
don't
kid's
want
friend.
you to feel like you
I don't want you
can
to
do
feel
whatever
like
you want.
you can, because I felt like the cool part was, oh, I can be my. I don't want you to feel
Yeah.
like that. Know that if you kind of come see mama, because I am the disciplinarian.
I know that, me too. And Duke be over there.
Exactly.
Oh, no, he gonna do what I
Come
just
here.
said. Exactly. I get that, April.
So
Okay.
yes.
Number 3.
Okay.
Would you rather A, go back and change your past, or B, keep everything current? That's a good one.
Okay.
Okay, show
I'm gonna say A.
A. Okay, so
Yeah.
she'd rather go back and change.
Yeah,
Okay,
just a
I would
couple
too.
of things.
I
it's
would
just
too.
a few things, like minor things.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
too. I
yeah.
think it's a lot of things that I would, just would have changed back then. Then
Yeah.
it'd be so much better. I wouldn't have wasted so much
That's
time.
it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
That's
wasted
all.
so much
That's
time.
all I'm saying. I wouldn't have wasted time. I would have not procrastinated. I
Yeah.
would have did, like, going to school. I'm 40 plus and
Yeah.
I'm still in school. I would
Yeah.
have just took my education a little bit more seriously.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But that's a good thing, though, April. Time, it doesn't matter what age you are at, because I see people 60, 70 years old still just now accomplishing their dreams. So I'm still proud of you, no matter what age, honey. All right, the next one is, would you rather A, learn lessons the hard way, or B, have someone guide you through them? She wrote that fast. I know that's right.
I always, my kids be like, I don't want my kids to get nothing, not no mud. I ain't want to get off the mud.
Shoot,
Yeah,
look, we didn't pick this life. We did not, because if I had to pick this life, baby, I wouldn't be a rich kid. Don't play with me.
Help me.
You're so silly. But I thank God side, you know,
Yes,
that I was able to
absolutely.
just learn, you
Absolutely,
know, from what
absolutely.
I was grown up
Absolutely.
with.
The lessons were necessary.
Yes,
I lied.
yes.
It's okay.
So the next one is: would you rather carry your pain silently, or B, share your story to help other people? B. Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I figured you were gonna put that. April always love helping people, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing. All right.
Yeah.
The next one: would you rather A, wake up early in peace, or B, stay up late in silence? And not like the
Peace, baby.
Ooh,
Peace,
Lord.
honey.
I would give anything for peace.
Baby.
It took me a long time to find my peace, and I kid you not,
Yes.
April, I wouldn't let nothing in this world take it away. If I
No,
feel
ma'am.
like it's something that is destroying my peace, it's time
It's
to
gone.
go.
Yeah, it's gone.
Time to go, but
It's
honey.
gone. Yeah.
And next, the last one
Okay.
is: would you rather keep the small town mindset you grew up around, or B, the bigger perspective you gain over time? Both.
I'm
Okay.
saying both. I gotta choose both because the small town mindset made me want
Mm-hmm.
to do something better.
Right.
So, and with that small town mindset, I group, I don't know if this is the basis of your question, but I group in, if I didn't have the lessons or grew up in a small town where we learned so much,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we would appreciate
I was just
what
about
we
to say
have
that.
now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
It
both of
definitely
them.
helped me to appreciate a lot of
Yeah,
things. And one
yeah.
thing about it, I know you and me too.
Yeah.
We won't ever forget where we come from.
Oh, no.
I would
Oh,
always
no.
shout out Shaw, Mississippi. Woo!
Brookville!
Mississippi! To the day of me, boy.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, we were just talking about way before we even started this, we were talking about ways, you know, to get together, to
Yes.
try to give back and go back home
Yes.
and do some things. Because we shout out to the people there
Yes.
that are making moves, that
Yes.
are doing stuff in our community, and I
Mhm.
love that.
Yes.
And I definitely, I'm sure you would too,
Yes.
love to be a part of that. So
Absolutely.
tap
And it's
in,
coming soon.
reach
We're
out.
speaking into existence.
Yes.
It's coming soon because we definitely have the same mindset,
Yes.
you know, of giving back. You know, people learn from that, you know, and then you pass that energy on, you plant that seed, that's what's, you know, that's growth.
Absolutely.
All right, so this is kind of wrapping up our session for today. But before we leave, April, there's one thing I want to ask you. What would you say to the old version of you
Mhm.
who didn't think that they'll make it this far?
I would tell myself the plans for you, God has already set.
Yes.
So just keep going.
Just
Keep going. It's there.
Wow.
Keep going.
So powerful.
Yep. Keep
so
going.
Powerful.
Keep going.
And in conclusion, to wrap it all up, April, what piece of advice would you give our viewers for someone who is actually, you know, thinking about giving up on themselves? What one piece of advice you would give them?
I would just tell them to take it all in for themselves, like heal themselves. Learn what your purpose is, and stay in that, stand in that, stand in your purpose and stand in your why, and that will give you motivation to do everything, and always keep God first.
Yes.
Whether that's whatever God you pray to, or whatever spiritual realm you're in, whatever your relationship with your spiritual self, keep that. Keep that. Don't steer away from it. Don't steer away from that.
Very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, April.
Absolutely. Thank
And
you.
I just want to say thank you, April, for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thank you for
So
having me.
this concludes our self-care talk with Sharoslyn session.
Woo!